Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Labyrinth Butterfly, wherever you are listening to this, whatever time you are tuning in. Thank you for joining for this reading. This is going to be intended as a full moon reading. I just finished one from the Divine Masculine to his Divine Feminine in terms of sending direct messages and relaying emotional information, practical information, whatever's going on for the masculine to the feminine. And this reading will be from the Divine Feminine to the Divine Masculine. So I was getting a very clear message late last night, early this morning, under the light of the full moon, that the collective was kind of yearning under this full moon energy for more details, like the Virgo moon. I have a Virgo rising in my astrological chart. So, I understand very well like the kind of like need and the internal desire for the details to be understood and expressed and laid out. So for a lot of twin flames, soulmates, divine counterparts who are not in direct communication, this can get sometimes frustrating. So on the journey here today, I am deciding to listen to the guidance of Mother Moon and Grandmama Moon, and step in and try to be a conduit here for messages to reach the Divine Masculine from the Divine Feminine collective. So I'm going to be reading today with the Enchanted Tarot, beautiful deck by Amy Zerner and her partner, as well as clarifying with the Mystical Tarot, and then we have Indigo Angel Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue that are going to be messages for this reading. So I'm going to go right in. I like these readings to be kind of condensed and consolidated as they can, because I know not everybody has a lot of time in the world these days to tune in and check in. So the underlying message to the Divine Masculine from the Divine Feminine, we get the Nine of Pentacles. And I'm just going to say right out of the gate that the Divine Feminine is very much in, we have hearts here, so her emotional body, and she's expressing there, and she's also expressing a lot about the physical plane reality that she's dealing with at this time, being as there's quite a few pentacles out here as well. So, in between the heart and the world here. So, the Divine Feminine is in her Nine of Pentacles energy. She's come into abundance. She has been working on cultivating abundance in her life on her own for some time now, and this has been overall the energy that she's been dealing with. In this card we have a woman who is standing in front of a tree, and the stars are in the tree. So oftentimes I feel like the energy I get from this card is that she's learning how to really root herself in herself and push up into the world in a way that has her energy fully at the forefront. She's carrying her offerings in a tray. She has this parrot bird coming to see her. So she's clear about who she is and how she's creating abundance and why she's doing it and for what reasons. So coming into the reading with the message for the Divine Feminine, we get the Nine of Hearts. And again, this card, is the fulfillment card. So the Divine Feminine is letting the masculine know that she's working on self-fulfillment right now. She is really understanding that she has to put herself first on this journey, and she's gaining everything that she needs. Her wish fulfillment is coming through for her, and sometimes it drops in unexpected ways into her lap, but the persistence that she's been on this path, really leading through her heart, is starting to pay off, and she's starting to learn that with or without the divine masculine by her side, she can have fulfillment in her life. And also that her wishes are coming true through either, messages received by the divine masculine, or, her own dreams and goals being attained, and, her wishes and desires are being fulfilled. And I'm just going to have a little spoiler alert here that this is definitely in relation to the divine masculine, because the clarification card right underneath it is the Sun card. So, yeah, in her heart, she's reached the 9 of Hearts. She has come into a place of knowing that has brought so much fulfillment into her heart space that there's nowhere else to go but to the 10 of Hearts, which is the next step, which is success, which is the place that she is building and growing in her heart, based around the energy with the divine masculine and the knowing that she has of this journey and what it means to her, and that she has held it in her heart space for such a long time. So then moving into the worldly energy of the Pentacles, we get the 5 of Pentacles, which is a challenging card. It speaks a lot to anxiety and kind of stress and societal pressure. So the divine feminine is letting the divine masculine know that this has been difficult in the physical plane, learning how to cope with stress and anxiety, worrying about the outcome of what it's going to turn into in the physical, and how that's going to play out. That has been somewhat of a stressor to the divine feminine. But she is learning how to manage that. And she's learning how to manage that through hard work. Because that card is clarified by the 8 of Pentacles. So she's really telling the masculine that she's not getting too hung up here in this feeling of lack, this lack mentality, because, she no longer wants to have this relationship, this connection, be something that is, how do I want to say, like, holding them back in any which way, and she does not want to hold him back. This card feels like the feminine saying there can no longer be any kind of codependency in this union, because it's just not the way anymore. The way is through the window of light. The way is through ending the hardships and understanding that, the future is going to take hard work, but it's going to be fulfilling without it being in this space of anxiety and stress. But she does recognize that the union energy, that this counterpart mirror is stressful and does cause anxiety on both sides of the coin. So then the feminine gets the King of Pentacles And so this card is really awesome to come up in the Divine Feminine's reading, because this is her telling the masculine that she is learning and she is actively pursuing her own kingdom, her own kingship, her own pragmatic way in the world. And she's doing that through hard work and dedication to, creating on her own all of the things that she needs to do, basically. She's not waiting, she's working. She's working. And I'll clarify what that means for her with the mystical when we get to that. And then we have the Four of Hearts. And so this card speaks to reevaluating things in her heart space. And I think what I get from this is that, there are a lot of feminines who have had to reevaluate what this journey is for them, and they're learning through the process of this journey to reevaluate the way they've looked at relationships in the past, the habits that have come through kind of old paradigm relationships, and that those have been dissatisfying for them, and that the status quo of what relationships have been, like what they've been taught and brought up to think about relationships, isn't attractive to them anymore. And so the feminine is gaining clarity into what relationships actually mean to her. And I feel like in some cases the feminine is letting go. And, not choosing to pursue anymore at this point, just keeping what her knowing is in her heart. Because she has, she has the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, sitting on top of the Hierophant card. So the spiritual connection, the Hierophant speaks a lot to like tradition, marriage, structure and spiritual connections, and having it be reversed by this Queen of, the Nine of Pentacles. That was the underlying energy of this, of this abundance, right? Like she's seeing that the traditional ways of relationship, they no longer bring the abundance that she's seeking. They don't fulfill her the same way. Like, it's almost like, you could also say it like this, the gaining of material world connection isn't as important to her as spiritual connection. And I feel like that's a really beautiful way to look at it. That the Divine Feminine is, reevaluating the need for having this alignment with her Divine Masculine come in a physical form, because it's more important that it's on the the spiritual at this time, and that's what she's recognizing at this time. So, instead she's choosing to stand in this King of Pentacles energy. And that's being clarified by 2 cards, and they're both reversed. The Seven of Cups and the Knight of Wands. So she has pretty much, at this point, and this is her message to the Divine Masculine, is that she's evaluated so many different choices in her life. With the Seven of Cups energy here, you know, she's no longer in a place of not understanding or not being able to choose her passion energy, her moving forward energy. Like she's past that. She's actually now at a place of doing and being and bringing into the world with this King of Pentacles. She's not like on the fence anymore. She really feels the connection so strongly that these energies are not holding her back. She feels the connection through her heart, and she feels it spiritually with the Divine Masculine. And she's not having to pursue it as much. And she's not feeling so, like there's so many different ways that she can go with it. Yeah, she feels like she knows which way she's going with it. Like she doesn't have to sit here and stew about that anymore. She's just choosing to take action. Like she's not waiting for the the Divine Masculine to become this king for her. She's just taking charge and doing and being. So again, with the Five of Pentacles, with that anxiety of being out in the world, you know, it's being clarified here by the Eight of Pentacles in the Mystical Tarot. And this is a master crafter or maker, and they're working really hard. So they're working really, really hard, and they're focused. They're focused on what they need, and they're not looking out that window. They're not looking out into this beautiful landscape. They're not really daydreaming anymore. They're just working hard, and they're taking satisfaction in the work that they're doing, because they're making sure that it's the most excellent work that they can do. They're basically honing in their artisan crafts and their skills, and they're not settling for good enough. They're striving for improvement. So even though this journey is difficult, masculines, your feminine is working really hard at gaining mastership in the process of this, because in her heart, where she is in her level of fulfillment, she's carrying the sun. She's carrying her Divine Masculine in her heart, and that's exactly where she knows he needs to be at this time. Let me just 1 second. I just want to come to the sun here. Yeah. All will be well. Have no fear. The seeds of joy are already sown. So she knows exactly where this is headed. She's working hard on it. She's not on the fence anymore. She's not confused about the choices she needs to make. She's making choices that are in alignment with moving forward into a different paradigm of relationship, into a different, more spiritual level of what relationship means to her. And messages directly from the Indigo Angel cards to the Divine Masculine from the Divine Feminine. She's asking him to focus on manifesting, to really understand that the power that he holds in his hands is part of what this union energy is to be. He's, and then we get the trust card, where we have the angel holding a staff, as well as holding the moon, the full moon. Thank you, full moon goddess, in his hand. So in his left hand too. So in his receptivity, the divine feminine is saying, to trust this moon goddess, to trust that it is real and it is true. And she also, the apologize card comes out here. So she wants the divine masculine to know that, she's understanding of him not being able to come forward right now, and potentially offer an apology that isn't as necessary, I think, for the divine feminines. Maybe for some divine feminines it is, and so this may be a message to some divine masculines that if you have done something really harsh against your counterpart, that it may be a good idea to offer an apology, even if it's just through a prayer or meditation, if you don't have any connection with your divine feminine. Make sure that you're acknowledging your actions and being very clear about understanding who you are, because you obviously are. If you listen to the divine masculine's message to the divine feminine, which is the sister reading to this reading, you will totally see that the divine masculine is in his full awareness and he's awakened. So she's also expressing to the divine masculine that when they get stuck, or when they feel like they need to communicate with her, and just to ask for a sign, because the signs will come through the universe. They will come through for her. And again, we have the goddess angel here standing in front of the full moon, and she's releasing a handful of butterflies. So it is time for transformation. That is the message that is very clear from the divine feminine to her masculine, that she knows that he's going through a time of transformation. She is willing to accept apologies from him. She's open to apologies coming through. She's asking him to trust the energy right now, to trust this full moon, to trust the details even of these readings that he's starting to dive into, and to continue to manifest based on a plane of being in his divine masculine power of the Sun card, the most positive card of the tarot. Really being in that place of holding space and mirroring, it's a hard word for me to say, mirroring the divine feminine's level of self-fulfillment. Because we must all reach these levels of self-love, self-fulfillment, self-worth, and all of those things must come into play before we can, move into fulfillment with another, or, relation with another. And that kind of brings me over to the sidebar here, because, we had the underlying energy of the mystical tarot, the Two of Cups reversed. So for the feminine, she's she's not at this time necessarily looking for this partnership or this exchange of, like, this huge exchange of emotion. She recognizes that, you know, this union card, like this relationship, this friendship has already begun. It's not on her mind as much to pursue it. She's just comfortable knowing that it's playing out on the spiritual plane, and that the divine masculine is, you know, doing the work that he needs to do, because she's very focused on doing the work that she needs to do in order to continue to gain her, you know, fulfillment of self and her understanding of how to reevaluate relationship. Because so many of us have been programmed into these patterns of relationship that are really unhealthy. So as a lot of divine feminines know, you know, we can easily get stuck on focusing too much outside of ourselves on the divine masculine or what they're doing. That's not the message that she's sending now. She's sending the message that she's really focusing on herself, which is really healthy. And that the divine masculine will be mirroring that energy, and she knows that as well. So I am going to pull, in closing, a message from the Rumi Oracle. And this will be a message from the divine feminine, again, to the divine masculine at this time. We'll read a poem from her energy to his energy, across the ether, whatever needs to come through at this time. Divine masculines may be needing to hear from the feminine, or that the feminine may be needing to express very clearly. Again, we're looking for clarity at this time. Sacred Soul Sister. Beautiful. I love this card. So I think that's a pretty clear message. I am your sacred soul sister. It's a 37 card. It's a 10. It's a 1. It's the beginning, it's the end, it's everything, right? So let's see. What does the divine feminine have to say to her divine masculine? Sacred soul sister. And it reads, when you are conscious, a cloud of sand, let me start again. When you are conscious, a cloud of sadness surrounds you. When you are beyond consciousness, the moon rests in your arms. When you are conscious, the beloved moves out of your reach. When you are beyond consciousness, the ecstasy of love moves your way. When you are conscious, you feel depressed like fall. When you are beyond consciousness, the winter cold feels like spring. All your wavering is due to your longing to be stable. Look for instability until you become stable. Rumi. Further message. I love you. I am your other self. I am with you always, your partner on this soul journey. I am the you that you do not see. I am the you that speaks through intuition and instinct. I whisper and sing and shout my crazed truth-telling to you through your dreams, through your body. I am the you that is wise, that trusts in life, that knows. I am the you that sees reality rather than appearance. I am the you that knows how to be happy and free. I have chills through my body reading that message. It is such a beautiful, beautiful message from the divine feminine to the divine masculine. We are here to recognize one another, to know the truth of this union, to bear the burdens of it as one collective, and to support one another in our missions to heal the planet and to really step forth into our strength and abilities to face our fears, to know who we are, to speak out, to embrace the light work, and to be super aware of ourselves. So from all of the soul sisters to all of the soul brothers, thank you for listening. I'm going to close with that message. Please like and subscribe to this channel so that we can continue to grow and support one another on this journey. I pray that everybody has a beautiful close to this full moon energy in Virgo. I don't know if I mentioned it at the beginning, but today there's also 2 alignments of the moon on Pacific Standard Time, and one of them is happening at 1:11, which is auspicious, and that is a opposition of the moon to Mercury. And there's also one at 1:44, another auspicious number for twins, as a trine. So the moon will be trined with Venus. So I really hope that these messages reach each of you who need to hear them, and they resonate, and whatever doesn't resonate, please leave that for somebody else. I love everyone here who's here and participating in this journey with me. Thank you for allowing me to read the energies and channel them from the divine. I pray that this is only helpful and brings greater guidance and deeper inspiration to you on your path. Till next time, stay tuned in, and I will speak with you all again soon.